I'd mentioned that I would eventually make a wooden grip for this Samick Discovery riser, and I kind of did. Originally, I had taken probably a 1/4-inch thick piece of leather and soaked and hammered it, and you can see that's just a piece of leather, and the hammering and the soaking, it hardens it. I mean, it's a pretty firm grip. It almost has the firmness of plastic. Well, that was the underpiece originally, and then on top of that, and you can see here when I said I tapered down the leather, I shaved it down, thinned it out, and then sewed this onto the riser. It worked really well. It was a nice grip, but because I am, well, kind of sort of beginning on working on an ILF symmetrical grip horsebow riser, I need to analyze this riser, which I'm going to use as a kind of template. Today, I put together a walnut grip. This is the original grip, but it's modified. You can see it has I guess what you'd call a very deep throat. I'm not a deep throat kind of guy. And it used to have this giant potato tumor down here. Just a big, big bulb. I shaved that off, and it's pretty nice. I think I'd probably prefer the leather grip, but I don't know if I'll go through the effort of re-sewing that. So this is now, it's been tamed. I think this is okay. Today I made this out of a piece of walnut. It began as a similarly shaped chunk of walnut. I didn't do a real good job. I expected to fail. I got farther than I expected, but I'd still consider it a failure. This riser is almost exactly a 1/2 inch thick where the grip is. So I took a 1/2 inch drill bit, drilled down. I actually tried to find the angle first. Probably would have been easier to drill straight into a square block or rectangular block and then shape it around that, but I bored a hole through and then came in with a smaller bit and bored perpendicular and then knocked out all the pieces and then mostly hand filed the groove. I'm not going to take it off right now, but you may be able to see before I drilled the hole for the mounting screws. This fit up here snug. Little bit of play, if you can see that, but it fits snug. Once this handle was made, finding out exactly where to drill those holes for me, I'm not the smartest monkey, and I guess I got them just a wee bit high. So it pulled it down. Now there's a gap here, which there shouldn't be, and that is why it's a failure. You can also see here, there's a little bit of open space. You can probably see some of the light coming through. But what I was aiming for is a less deep throaty style grip. You could almost make prawn out of this. It's excessive. This is a bit more straight. That's what I prefer. It doesn't feel bad. I'll probably use it even though it's bungled. But this is also, this is modified. This is not the original shape, but it's the original grip. I am surprised. It's a very nice piece of wood. It's a hard, nice piece of wood, and that might just be the whole thing was sanded, and I put a mixture of beeswax and either cedar or linseed oil. I have a couple of different mixtures, and it's a nice piece of wood. They did not short anyone with the wooden grip. But I had figured I make other wooden sculptures, aliens, these thumb release guys are pretty strange. But there's a reasonable amount of detail here, not so much in this one, but I thought, well, if I can do this, I should be able to make a simple grip. Not really. The straight lines, the precision, it's important. If you want it not to look crappy and you want a snug fit, it's kind of difficult. If you look down here, it's kind of straight until it gets right about here. Then it bevels back a bit. This autofocus is not so wonderful. I perhaps arrogantly thought, oh, this should be simple. It wasn't. It wasn't simple. And I think that even though this came really close to working, it's still not perfectly flat inside. It's still not a perfect half-inch. I thought about using a router, but I don't think I'd be able to control that in a straight line. But there is a first attempt at a walnut grip. I think if I can get that far, if I really put my mind to it, and I wanted to spend the time, I could make this actually work. As I said, I'll probably still use it, experiment with it, but I suspect I'll end up putting this back on now that the tumor is gone. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these handles, but there's this big, nasty glob right here. That all came off with the belt sander. That's it. I might, if I have time today, I might follow up this with a couple test shots with this experimental grip. See if it works.